So we talked about jQuery and how we can use it in our code. So jQuery is nothing but JavaScript, but it helps in rapid application development. There is no the dynamic part of that yet. So when we talk about dynamic, basically what we mean is, for example, if this is our MVC music application, so if I go in here and I make some changes, unless I submit, which is the post back, like the HTTP post, that is when the data gets sent back and the entire page gets refreshed, right? So instead of that, if you just want a small portion of the screen to be refreshed without blocking the user from doing anything else, where you can think of it as like happening in a different thread at that point. So let us say that you have something going on here and it's doing some check, and a portion of the screen is able to process information in the background, actually make a trip to the server and back without obstructing the user from performing any other operation on the screen. That is what we call as like dynamic or Ajax behavior. In MVC, Ajax depends on the jQuery extensions that are written. The jQuery extensions for Ajax were written by Microsoft. So if you look into the scripts folder, you can see the unobstructive JavaScript there. This is what is you need this, and you need Ajax helpers to be able to do dynamic processing, the asynchronous processing in MVC. That is the default route. So you have to remember that this jQuery validate unobstructive.js has to be included in your code. The way Ajax does it is when you use the helper, an Ajax helper, it renders the code without showing you the scripts involved. It's kind of like very seamless in that sense that it's not very obvious when you look at it as to what is going on. So couple things that we can do with Ajax helpers. You can update a part of the screen, like I said. It could be like a link. You click on a link and it goes to your server, fetches some data and brings it back. Those are called as Ajax action links. And you also have something called as Ajax forms. Ajax forms are going to be like, again, small sections of your screen that has some dynamic processing going on there in the background. Ajax forms are used when you need interference or user input in order to perform an action. So Ajax links, the action links basically is like you click on a link and it does something without taking any user input other than the click. Ajax forms, on the other hand, could be getting an input from the user and then actually like implementing that whatever background logic for you that involves a trip to the server. So you have to remember that actually the post is not happening. We are not actually reposting the entire page when we use Ajax. Just the portion that needs data to the server, it's a trip that just happens. So the entire form data is not being sent. Whatever is needed for that specific trip is all that is being sent to the server. So that is what I want to just give an update on. So with our musical MVC Music Store application, there are a couple examples that are in your book that we are going to actually try out here. The first one is to actually create an action link. So the example says that, okay, so if you have albums and then every week you actually have some daily deals where a random album is chosen for you and its price is discounted. So how would that look like? So you have a button that you click and then it shows you the album and then gives you an option to add to a cart. Well, add to a cart is not a functionality we are going to be adding right now for this reason, but at least it's going to display you a random album every time you click on it. So that's the daily deal. So for that, it has to make a round trip to the server, right? Retrieve the album that is on sale for that day and then display it. So for that, we'll be using a Ajax helper called action links. And then the other functionality is where you provide a search option for the user and then ask them for data, like artist maybe. Ask for search by artist, and then you give the artist name, and then it returns a list based upon that input, and then displays it in one section of the screen without reposting the entire data. And that would be the form. So that's what we are going to see.